What's up, everybody? As we enter the end of 2025, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, and I want to wrap up this year by doing a tier list of all the gear that I've reviewed on this channel, or all the videos that have had gear, and we'll get into it more, as we go through this list. I also want to give a channel update going into 2026 and what I plan on doing for the next year, for those of you that care about that. For those of you that don't, and you just want to talk some shit about some music equipment, we can do that too. We'll do that first, actually. But if you're interested and you want to know what I have planned for 2026, then, stay tuned to the end of the video, and that's where I'll put that. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I reviewed this year was the Tonex Cab. And I would put this in the highly recommend. I mean, it's an FR. There's not really a ton of stuff to say about it, You plug a modeler into it and it makes sounds. But what's cool about the Tonex Cab is it's very loud. I mean, I tried it at practice with the drummer, and it was fine. It was plenty loud for that. You could get a stereo pair of them if you wanted. But the thing that was really nice about the Tonex Cab, from my memory, this was like in January, but if I remember correctly, it had cabinet simulation built in. So you could just run a preamp pedal or something into it if you want. You don't have to use a modeler with IRs if you want. So I thought that was pretty cool. It should be no surprise. I think IK Multimedia makes really great stuff. That's why it's in the highly recommend tier. Moving on, we have the GS1000 by Moore. Now this one's a little bit harder to place because I do like Moore as a company, but I think they make too many similar products. Like, this product could have been an update. You know what I mean? However, in the case of the GS1000, the cool thing is that it allows you to capture your amps and stuff like you could on the Quad Cortex or whatever, but on their platform. However, I just feel like they should just incorporate NAMM. It would be like better and easier for everybody. So, I wouldn't be mad about putting this on highly recommend, but I think I'm just going to put this in good, but not for me. I've had a lot of Moore products over the years, and this one is really cool. I like that it's battery powered. I like that you can finally make the MNRS sample, whatever, their form of capturing. I like that you can actually do it on the thing itself, but I think it's still like way too limited and locked down. It's like all the other stuff that comes after the product that helps the user experience. That's where they fall short for me. Next, we have the Harley Benton. I can't remember. This is like the cheapest progressive series guitar they have. So I figured, why not go right to the bottom of the barrel and buy the cheapest one? Well, the cheapest metal one, because I'm a metalhead. Please don't leave me any comments saying that you're disappointed I didn't play any John Mayer riffs. This is in the... Man, this is a tough one. Because I could actually see myself... This was a cool guitar. I actually really enjoyed this guitar. But I think I'm going to put it in the good, but not for me. I did actually sell this guitar to one of my friends, and he plays it and he really likes it, and he tells me that he still uses it all the time. So I think it's a really good one. I think it has really good bones. Probably want to upgrade the pickups maybe at some point. But, I tuned that guitar way down to like G sharp or something, and it handled it like a champ. I'm not mad about anything. That guitar is great for the money. If you live in Europe. That is the one caveat about those things. They do have a US retailer through Reverb, so if you do want one of those, get it through Reverb, but they don't have nearly the amount of options they have on Thomann or something like that. So the PRS CE 24. This is a cool guitar, but again, good, but not for me, because when I was going through and setting up this list, I saw the video and I was like, oh yeah, that guitar. And I couldn't remember a single thing about it. I remember that I thought it was good. Like, it seemed like a quality instrument, but that's it. Oh, you know what? If I remember correctly now, I had a problem intonating it. Like, you couldn't, something like C standard, which is my normal tuning. So definitely good, but not for me in that case, because if I can't intonate it in C standard, then, what are we doing here? This is the Jackson Pro Series KingV. This is a highly recommend. This is an easy one to put in the highly recommend category. This guitar was awesome. Now, I could put it in the good but not for me category because I did end up selling that guitar shortly after, but I really needed the money and I didn't want to sell it. But I remember, it being early in the year, and I was like, God, I could really use some extra money. So I ended up selling that guitar. Obviously, it has this Tune-O-Matic bridge. Maybe I prefer Floyd Rose. That's just a personal preference thing, but I would highly recommend that guitar to anybody. I think it's a very, very good guitar. The MLC Subzero 100. I would highly recommend any of their amp knob products. I think these are really great products. I like them a lot. I'm becoming increasingly annoyed with plugins and modelers as of late. Just all of the bloat that comes with them, if you know what I mean. Like, constantly having to update things, dive through menus and all. It's like, no shade towards people that use digital stuff. I just, at some point, I just changed my tune and I became slightly annoyed with all that shit. But with that being said, the great thing about the amp knob plugins, and the thing that I really like about them, is it's one knob. You just load it up and it sounds like the thing. You know, maybe you adjust your gain. That's it. This one does have some more options. If I remember correctly, you could dive in, you know, the menus and do some, but it's like a way. You don't need to access that stuff. If you just want the sound, you just load up the thing and it's good to go. And I really, really like that about all of their amp knob products. So that's going to go in the highly recommend. Next thing here, we have this Hartwood guitar, which is like a vintage Thunderbird looking guitar. I'm going to put this in the meh category. Now, this guitar wasn't bad at all. It just like, I don't know. It's nothing about it that was like really exciting to me. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was, I don't know. It made me feel very meh. Moving on here. Davidson Warrior. This is the older one that is in that natural ash, I believe, finish. Ooh, this is nice. I'm not going to want to send this back. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. I wonder what happens if I buy it with my own affiliate link. There's nothing wrong with this guitar. This guitar is really, really great. I don't know. I didn't vibe with this guitar nearly as much as the one we're going to get into later on in this video. If someone was going to ask me which one they should get, I would say the other. I don't want to spoil it, but I'd say the other one. Okay, so next one here. The Firefly ML Dime Bag guitar. This is not actually the one that I bought, if you saw that video. This is the only one I could find an image of that I could use for this tier list. But it looked similar to this. It just had like a flame maple top. This guitar, it was super meh. I mean, you know, Firefly makes very reasonable price guitars, super reasonable price guitars, and for what they are, they're good. But this one just like didn't excite me. I just remember shooting the video and thinking to myself like, wow, I can't wait to be done with this so I can just move on with my life. It was a cool video. I had a great time making it. Definitely not for me. Probably in the meh category. Moving on, BFD 3.5. This is a drum VST. It's a very, very good drum VST as well. However, I've been using Toontrack products for so long, like Superior Drummer, and I'm so familiarized with them. And not only that, but Toontrack products to me really have the best songwriting tools. At least out of the stuff that I've tried. I'm leaning good, but not for me. Yeah, let's leave it in good, but not for me. It's very, very good. You know, you could put this in either category. Highly recommend would be okay. Next is the D'Angelico Deluxe Atlantic guitar. Do my best to demo this thing with my girl hands, but probably should have opted for the 24/75 scale guitar. Let me call my Sweetwater rep.
Sweetwater?
Oh, hey, dude.
Oh, hey, Taylor, it's you again.
Yes, again, I know.
What do you need?
Yeah, so I messed up and I accidentally ordered a baritone guitar instead of a
Oh my god, can you get your one problems? Jesus, dude, can you just skip
Yeah, I know. This is like the third time this week.
Well, do your viewers know yet?
Yeah, they're watching right now, waiting for me.
Why you do this?
I know, dude. My apologies. I have a very terrible memory. I misspeak all the time. It's probably too much headbanging and unga bunga riffs.
Well, we gotta do whatever's best for the viewers, so I'm gonna get one on track.
Oh, you can get one out today?
Yeah, dude, I guess we'll save your video again.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you so much.
Metalheads.
All right, they're going to send out one of the standard scale length Atlantics for me to demo also. Oh, that was quick. Put this guy down here. All right, let's go check out this other one. This guitar is amazing. It's a really, really nice guitar. It played super well. It might not be something that I ever use. And there's so many things in here where it's like good, but not for me. Even stuff in the highly recommend might not necessarily be for me. I should have renamed these categories. But anyways, you know how tier list works. I could call these tiers anything. The D'Angelico guitar is very, very nice. It's very, very nice. I never play it. It's going to go in the highly recommend category. If you saw the video, you know that I gushed about that guitar. And I love the way it looks. And actually, I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be trading that guitar for another guitar here soon. So, you know, we'll put it in the highly recommend. It's a good guitar. You should play one if you haven't. Next, I have a Jackson JS32 KingV. I'm going to put this in the highly recommend category. Now, there's a big caveat with that. Any of these guitars in the JS line are going to come, if they come with Floyd Roses, they're going to come with Floyd Rose special. Even the X series come with Floyd Rose specials. And those tremolos just, they don't hold up over the long run. It's kind of ironic because, you know, it's on a beginner guitar and a beginner might not necessarily know the ins and outs of Floyd Rose tremolos and might have a tendency to like over tighten things, which will strip out those tremolos and then they become functionally useless at that point. You know, you need to replace parts on them. That's the caveat there. However, the JS line of Jackson guitars are really good guitars. I'm going to put it in the highly recommended category with the caveat where you'll probably need to swap out some of the parts of the Floyd Rose. The next thing is the Forton Cali module. Whew, this one's tough. I'm gonna put this in God tier, and I know I can hear your eyes rolling right now. Hear me out. What's cool about the Forton Cali Synergy module is that Forton Cali amplifiers are very expensive and they're very limited too. It's not like you can just go on Forton's website and buy. I mean, maybe you can right now That'd be embarrassing if you could. You know what I mean? Like, they make limited runs of them, so it's not like they're widely available all the time. And they also fetch a premium price, even on the used market. So for a lot of people, this is going to be the way that they can experience that without spending $4,000 on one. So maybe it costs you, I don't remember, what are the heads? Why speculate, right? Oh, there's $1,700. Okay, that's not bad, okay? So you buy the head for $1,700, you buy a module for $400, you're in $2,100. You will have an awesome amp. And then every amp flavor you want on top of that, $400. It's a really cool system, man. And I think for all of those reasons, I have to put this in God tier because it's like half the price of one of the Forton Cali amplifiers. You could try, it's not going to be 1-to-1, but you will get the idea of what makes that amplifier special. And you will definitely get like the heart and soul of that amplifier in the module. So God tier. The Jackson JS32 Warrior. I'm just going to put this in highly recommend for all of the same reasons. There are all the same caveats as the KingV. Yeah, they're good entry level guitars with some caveats. The next one here, the BC Rich Ironbird MK2, I believe, Prophecy MK2. I'm going to put this in highly recommend. I don't know, man. I haven't made my decision quite yet on this guitar. You know, it's still sitting right here. I still play it every now and then. But it is a little bit awkward to play. Like, the body shape is a little bit weird. Even sitting on your legs, sitting down, it's a little bit awkward to play. But it just looks so badass, dude. It's just such a cool ass looking metal guitar. And so for that, I have to put it in the highly recommend category. And it also plays amazing. It has a Floyd Rose 1000 on it. One pickup, one vol. It's badass, dude. It is such a cool guitar. The satin neck, everything. I like all the things about that guitar. It's just a little bit awkward to play. That's it, you know? I'm sure I could adjust if I was playing it on the daily, but I have other guitars that I prefer playing more. So yeah, still in the highly recommend. I'll probably end up holding on to that guitar. I haven't decided yet. It's still on my rack, but it's a cool one. Moving on. The Malia, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Surfcaster. This one is also a highly recommend. This is a great guitar, and I think that, you know, it's obvious because they sold out almost immediately. I made that video and they were sold out within like a day. You know, not because I made the video, like, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. I'm sure I had nothing to do with those guitars selling out. It's all Bring Me the Horizon and Lee. I think that's just a testament to how good they are, you know? And I did end up selling that one. You know, it was definitely not a for me guitar. It's not a guitar I would have ever played. So I did sell that to one of my friends. But he loves it, you know? So, yeah, there you go. It's almost like Jackson makes good stuff or something. Okay, this one, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I mean, you see it. You know what's going on, right? This is the Galaxy Audio AS4000, something I think. It's the in-ear monitoring system. Wow, there are some caveats with this. This would either be in the highly recommend or the meh category. And I'm not really sure which, because when I initially tried this thing out, it worked great. Everything was awesome. But I've noticed over time that I get more and more audio dropouts. Now, with that being said, I'm more than willing to take the responsibility and say that there's something that I'm doing that's incorrect. Something needs to be recalibrated. It's probably something on my end. I just haven't had the time to really look into it and troubleshoot it yet. But that's why I'm saying it's either in between highly recommend or meh. The other thing is, it is mono, which I thought wouldn't bother me at first, but the more I use it, the more I'm like, God damn, I wish this was stereo. But now that you know the whole backstory and everything, I'm going to assume that the dropout thing is something on my end that I need to troubleshoot and work out. And we're just going to put this in the highly recommend. I think it's a really good, like, starter set for that. We'll put it in a highly recommend. I think it's my fault. I think it's my fault that I'm having the audio dropouts. I haven't figured it out yet. But, you know, if that's the case, then it is a highly recommend. Moving on here. More YouTuber guitars. Yeah, wait until the end of the video when we can talk about this a little bit more. This is the Enya Inspire something or other carbon fiber. This video was pretty cool, right? I froze this guitar. I thought it was a cool video. I had a good time doing it. But goddamn if it isn't annoying to see these guitars pop up like every 10 seconds. And even as someone who made a video about these guitars, it's annoying. So I can't even imagine how annoying it is for you. I think that these guitars, like, I gotta be honest with you, they're really meh. And they're not mad because they're bad instruments or anything like that. They're just mad because it's like, I don't know, they're kind of gimmicky. You know what I mean? The built-in effects and everything. Yeah. I just wish that it was a real, just carbon fiber composite guitar without the gimmick. And I know what they're trying to do is like, they're trying to go, hey, we want to make a cool thing that could replace an acoustic guitar for people who want to travel and take their guitar but don't want to lug around an acoustic or whatever. That's fine. I feel mad about it. You know what I mean? Now, I can be objective and I can say there's a lot of cool things about it. I like the fact that it's carbon fiber. I think the zero fret is an interesting choice as well. You know, there's cool things about these guitars. They're definitely not for me. It's not anything I would ever play, and it's mostly just because of the gimmick of having a built-in effects thing and a speaker. When I was a little kid, I thought that was really cool. You know, the first time I saw a guitar with a built-in speaker, I thought that was the neatest thing ever, and I really wanted one. And now as an adult and having played one, it's just like, gives me very meh feelings. Moving on here. Subzero, and I hesitated to even put this on here because I made this video with these amplifiers, and you know, I wanted to check them out because I worked with Gear for Music quite a bit in the last year. They make really good stuff for the money. Now, obviously, things have changed quite a bit. You have tariffs, which is always a weird thing in these videos because I don't know what the tariff's going to be. Like, you know you're going to have to pay tariffs on importing things now. So, you know, it kind of changes the value proposition. But for the people over in Europe, I think these are really valuable amplifiers, you know? I'm going to say, God, I almost would put this in highly recommend for people over in Europe, but I'm going to say it's in the good, but not for me. I made that video. I thought they were really cool. I had to use like a transformer to actually power them with US voltage. So that's a thing too. But I think that if I was in the UK or Europe, and the fact that you can get a 50-watt tube amp like that, which is fine. Like, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the best thing I'd ever heard, but it definitely wasn't bad. And for the money that it cost, I can't remember what it was, but it was like very surprisingly inexpensive. That's my long-winded way of saying it belongs in the good but not for me category. Okay, moving on. guitars. I almost want to put this in the meh category, but if I remember correctly, this had some really good specs and features for the price. And, you know, it's not like a gimmicky guitar. I feel like they're actually just trying to make a really solid workhorse value guitar. The name is a little weird, somewhere in between earth and fart. You know, so if that bothers you, that might be a thing. But if I remember correctly, this had really good specs for the money, and it played really well. It definitely wasn't for me. If I remember, the neck profile was a little bit thicker, but I thought it was really good for the money. So put it in good, but not for me. As I alluded to earlier, the Davidson Pro Series Signature Warrior. This is a god tier guitar. This guitar is great. No complaints about this, whatever. The only thing is I wish they had a 6-string version because I'd play the shit out of that thing all the time. I liked everything about this guitar. Now, why did I put this in the god tier? I put the other one in the good but not for me category. I mean, aesthetically, I prefer this guitar quite a bit more. You know, we could put it, I'd put this in the highly, you know, we're gonna change it. Can I change it? Is that in the rules? It's my video. I can change it if I want, right? We're going to change that. We're going to put that in the highly recommend. And if you see this little Sweetwater thing there, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't want to take the time to erase that on every single one of these. Sometimes Sweetwater has the best pictures of these guitars. It's not a weird hidden ad thing or whatever. It's a laziness thing. Next, we have the Marshall DSL 100. This is easy. This is easy highly recommend. This is a great amplifier. It sounds really good. And it's I think this head is like $1,000 or something like that, maybe a little bit less. It's very inexpensive for what it is, being a 100-watt head. It covers a ton of tonal landscapes that are like classic to Marshall. The control layout's great. It has a bunch of great features. Just, I can't say enough good things about this amplifier. Now, with all that being said, I don't know that I would necessarily use it just because I have other Marshall amplifiers that I prefer. But for the money, man, I think it's a really good amplifier. Next, the Court. This was the Pale Moon multi-scale 7-string guitar. I put this in the good but not for me category. The multi-scale 7-string thing is definitely a not for me thing, but what keeps it out of the highly recommend for me? Actually, you know what? The more that I'm thinking about this guitar, the more I put it in highly recommend. Because the top was beautiful and it was a really beautiful guitar. I just really did not enjoy playing it. And I think that's my own bias of being 7-string and multi-scale. So we'll leave it in highly recommend. I wouldn't have any problems recommending that guitar to someone. I think it's a good guitar. It's a good guitar.
Got a good brain.
Next, the Kiesel Kyber YouTube guitar. I'm going to put this in God tier, okay? And let me explain myself before you get all upset.
You fucking chill. You're just putting Kiesel in.
Listen, it is an extremely well-crafted instrument. Some would say God tier. But if you saw my guitar walkthrough video, it's not one that I ever reach for because it does feel like an ergonomic guitar in a lot of ways. But maybe that appeals to you. The thing that you can't take away from that guitar is the craftsmanship. The craftsmanship is just so good that I think it belongs in God tier for that reason. Next, the Zack Wild guitar. This is a super meh guitar. And you would think that I would vibe with this guitar. I mean, look at it. It's like a crazy guitar. You know, it has EMGs in it. It was fine, but I don't know, man. Like the whole That whole guitar just was like very... It's a little bit too wild. It's a little bit too out there. I'd have a hard time recommending that to anyone, definitely. And I know that that's not everyone's experience, okay? But yeah, it just gave me super meh feelings about it. So I'm going to leave that in the meh category. Make your own tier list if you want to move it into a different category. Moving on. The JS32 Surfcaster. I don't even remember making this video. I guess I did, though. We're just going to put this with the other JS32 guitars in highly recommend. And for all the same reasons. I don't need to say this every time we do a JS32 guitar, you know? You get why those guitars are in the highly recommend, right? They're good bones guitars. Next one is the Gear from Music baritone, what Telecaster looking thing. This was a beautiful guitar. Beautiful. It's good, but not for me, but it was extremely beautiful. It was nice playing. Out of all of the guitars that I've tried from Gear from Music, this is probably up there with one of my favorites, you know? Like, this was a good instrument. And again, if you're in Europe or whatever, their stuff is really inexpensive. So I don't know what this is, like 400 pounds or something, like 300 pounds. It was not expensive. Moving on here. The Mer Future amp thing is just meh. It's fine. I actually use this more than a lot of other pieces of gear on this list, but I use it as a Bluetooth speaker. Like, I don't really use it to play guitar through. I just use it as a Bluetooth speaker. And it's awesome for that, and you can also play guitar on it. It looks like an alarm clock, if you like that aesthetic. This is just one in a sea of products that, you know, are kind of uninspiring a little bit. It's kind of rude to say, damn. I don't mean it to be that rude, but you guys do good things. Just, like, focus on making good shit and maybe do 3 things a year, 4 things a year. You don't need like 20 products per quarter. Moving on here, the Angel Vivaldi Charvel. This would be in the highly recommend category. However, I'm going to put it in God tier because it is just such a looker of a guitar, man. Actually, oof. It has a special, hold on. We're going to have to put this back down into the highly recommend category. I would put this, no, it has a Goto on it. That's right, it has a Goto on it. Okay, we're moving it back up. It's in the God tier category. The reason that I put this guitar in the God tier category is it looks really beautiful. It's just a looker of a guitar. I wish that I played 7-string guitars. So, like, the same thing with the Davidson Warrior. I just wish I played 7-string more so I could play these guitars more, but I just don't enjoy playing 7-string guitars much, you know? But yeah, goddamn, what a cool looking guitar. What a nice playing guitar. We're gonna go God tier on that one. Next here, the RD Compact Hot Rod Drive by Origin Effects. This pedal is fucking great. And I don't say that lightly. I try out a lot of different gear, a lot of different pedals and stuff, and this pedal was very unique. But it's also very, very specific. It's for someone who is looking for a very specific sort of tone. And it gives you some variation between that thing, but it really just does this one thing. If you're looking for that, I would highly recommend this. I could put this in the good but not for me category, but it is a thing that I actually enjoy. Will I use it ever? I don't know. You know, most guitar gear, it's sad. It doesn't get used. It's part of the job. You know, it is what it is. I wish that I had more hours in the day just to play through gear and enjoy my time playing through it, but I don't. Most of the time I'm playing guitar, I'm doing YouTube. So with that being said, I'm going to put it in the highly recommend category because I think it has a lot of really great merits. Now, again, like I've said with the Gear for Music stuff, people that live in the States, these pedals, you can buy them through Sweetwater and you wouldn't have to pay tariffs on them, but they're very expensive. And I believe that's why they're very expensive, is because they're expensive to import for Sweetwater. So, you know, just my guess, if you are in Europe and you can get these for, or if you find one on the used market or whatever, I really recommend checking one out because they are unique pedals and they do a really cool thing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, next is the Dark Glass Anagram. This thing was awesome, but it's for bass players. Good, but not for me, just automatically. Really, really great product. Love the design philosophy. I loved a lot of things about it. A lot of people were asking me, can you use it as a NAM loader for guitars? And you can, you know, if you want to do that, but everything in this product is meant for bass. You know, guitar players, you have enough things already. But I think the thing that people like about it is it's a really beautiful looking product. You know, it's essentially like the Quad Cortex in a lot of ways. I think the layout and the user interface is actually better than the Quad Cortex, in my opinion, but it loads NAM files. And I know that's the thing that a lot of people really want. If you're hell-bent on having a NAM loader that's beautiful, that loads NAM files, you know, without altering them, yeah, I'd probably suggest that one. But I think there's probably going to be more things. I think NAM loading is just going to be more common in the future. you know, so maybe hold out. The next thing here, the Moore GE200. I don't even, just meh. There's already a GE200. This one has a battery. And this was like the plus. Like they even had the GE200 and then the GE200 plus. It's just too many things. Too many fucking products, man. Oh. But what do I, you know, I'm just an asshole on the internet with an opinion. So they seem to be doing really well. You know, don't listen to what I say, I guess. But that's how I feel about that product. It's very meh. Next is the Ibanez Iron Label Xiphos. I'm going to put this guitar in God tier, okay? And it's not God tier because it's the best built instrument that offers you the most value for your money. It's not in God tier because it's the best playing guitar I've ever touched. It's in God tier because look at it, man. It is such a badass looking guitar. It's just zero compromise, all metal, and I love it. I love everything about it. So I'm going to put that thing in God tier. Now, I probably would prefer changing the pickups out in mine at some point. I would like it more if it was made out of mahogany and not Naoto, whatever it's made out of. I can let all that slide, honestly, because it's such a badass guitar. I don't care if you disagree with me. I'm putting in a God tier. The next one, Eloy Casa Grande drum. Okay, so this is good, but not for me. If you want Slipknot sounding drums, there you go. Load it up, you're done. However, you have to use the contact player. That's not my favorite thing ever. And, you know, again, I'm so used to Toontrack and all of their songwriting stuff. And just, for me, like, other drum programs usually fall short, but I could see the value in it. It's less expensive. It does have grooves and some songwriting stuff built into it. It's just not, you know, the core of the program, and it's not as robust, you know, something like Superior Drummer. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. If you want some Slipknot sounding drums, dude, like that's the one. You just load it in, you get instant Slipknots. Good for that. Next, we have the Sonic Cake Pocket Master Pro. I would put this in the good but not for me category. However, this thing is so inexpensive. It's like 40 bucks or something like that. To me, this is just kind of a no-brainer purchase. You know, it's just like the things that you can do with it, like all the different stuff that it does, the fact that it's so inexpensive. You can load up NAM profiles on it. Now it does alter those NAM files. You know, how much of that is actually going to affect your NAM files? I don't really know. You know, there's guys like Leo Gibson that have made videos like analyzing that stuff to death. I don't need to rehash that content, but I just think for those, just because it's so inexpensive and it does so many things, I can put this in the highly recommend category. The other reason that I put it in the highly recommend category, especially against products that are similar, is this one is easy to use. The user interface is really simple and intuitive. You don't have to go to a Chinese website and then have Google translate the instructions poorly on how to use their products. Like, this is just good. You just download the app and you just do your thing with it. So for those reasons, I put it in the highly recommend category. It's a good one. Okay. Moving on here. I reviewed a lot of shit in 2025. God damn. Oh, man. This one was cool. The Scott Ian Signature KingV. I want to put this in... I have such a hard time with this one. I'm going to put this in God tier. I don't give a shit, dude. This guitar is so cool looking and just like so inspirational to play. I actually... If you saw my Halloween video, the whole reason that I wanted to get a Gibson V for that video was the Scott Ian guitar. And I bought almost all of the stuff to upgrade that guitar to make it look aesthetically similar to the Scott Ian KingV, but it all didn't arrive in time for the Halloween video. And that video was like such a process to make. It took a lot of time. My point is though, after making that video and playing that guitar, it really, really inspired me to do that to the Gibson V. So I'm going to put it in God tier. I don't actually own one of these guitars. I probably should. You know, I would prefer it with like a darker fretboard. You know, it's like the one thing, like if it came with ebony or rich light or I don't know, whatever. Just something darker than the rosewood or laurel or whatever it had on it. But I can't hold that against it because the guitar itself is just so inspiring on its own. So that gets a God tier for me. Okay. The Mick Thompson LTD. If you saw this video, I have to overlook a glaring issue with this guitar. The one I got had a big flaw with it. Automatic, would not recommend category for me. However, I know a lot of people that I trust that have these guitars that have told me, you know, offline, like no reason for them to color their opinions on them, that they didn't have those issues. And if I didn't have those issues, I would have really enjoyed playing this guitar. So I'm going to put this in the good but not for me category right now. It's hard to say what the quality control is like on those guitars since I'm just basing it off, you know, my one bad experience and then everyone else's good experience. So we're just going to stick it in that middle category. I'm sure they're fine, but, you know, that wasn't my experience. So the Engle Ravager. This is your cheapest entry point into the world of Engle if you want to get into their amplifiers. However, I found it very meh. Now take that with a massive grain of salt, because I did sell this amplifier to a friend who really loves it. Like, loves that sort of thing. I guess maybe it's because I own so many Engle amplifiers. Maybe I should, you know what, let's change this. I'm going to take this to good, but not for me. Because my feeling on it was very meh. Like, it didn't excite me or anything. But I do own a lot of other Engle amplifiers. And because of that, I guess maybe I just had different expectations for it. I would also say with the caveat, if you want to play any of these EL84 amps at loud volumes, this one was doing better than the others that I tested in the video that I made with it. EL84 amps in general, like, they just don't really hang at louder volumes. So, you know, take all that into consideration. We're just going to put that in good, but not for me. I think that's fair. Okay, we have another one of these Enya guitars, and just like the other one, it's just very meh for all the same reasons. And I just want to say again, I do actually like playing these guitars. If they weren't gimmicky guitars, I might actually keep one around and play it. We've seen these guitars on like 100 channels already. Like, I'm sure that you know everything there is to know about them. The Tracy Guns Gunstar. Man, I got so much shit for this. Everyone was like, that's not a real Kramer. And I'm like, what do you want me to do, man? Like, I found a guitar that I thought looked cool and would be fun, and it said Kramer on the headstock. But I guess this is not like the real Kramer. It was a good guitar though, and I thought like the value was actually really high on it. So I would put this in the good but not for me category. I don't think you can buy these guitars new, but used, they're pretty inexpensive. I mean, it came with a Floyd Rose 1000, you know, it had good pickups in it. It's a set neck guitar. Like, for the money, you get a pretty great instrument. Just, you know, maybe not for me. I don't have enough makeup to enjoy that guitar, I guess, or something. Next, the BC Rich Warlock. This is the Legacy Warlock in the crackle finish. This guitar was awesome, man. I'd put it in the highly recommend. I hesitate. I kind of want to put it in God tier. Let's put it in God tier. I think so. I feel okay about that. It was a good guitar, man. It was really great. Big, heavy instrument. Just looks badass. Has the reverse headstock. I kind of wish that it had the 3x3 headstock, but you know, it has a reverse inline headstock, which is very cool. I know everyone has different opinions on that. We'll put it in God tier. It was a great guitar. Like, zero complaint. It's set up really well. It played really well. Awesome instrument. Okay. I even hesitated to put this one in here a little bit. I guess I reviewed it. The Kirk Cobain Jag Stang. I don't own this guitar because I want to play it. I'm going to put this guitar in the meh category with a massive caveat here. The massive caveat is Nirvana is really a big part of my life growing up. And this guitar itself is pretty meh. There's not like a whole lot of ergonomic things going on. There's a lot of weird choices with the guitar. But I totally bought this guitar for nostalgia and just to have it. That meh might surprise a lot of you, but I just think in terms of like, as a guitar itself, it's just a weird, not great instrument. But very cool, very nostalgic, and very, I don't know, artistic, I guess. Like, I would definitely hang this on my wall. The Tonex Plug. Possibly one of the most boring releases of 2025. However, easily a highly recommend for me. This thing's great. I actually use it all the time. In terms of all the stuff that's on this list, this might be one of the things that I use the most. And the reason that I use it so much is because I can have my Tonex tone models. That's what they're called. I can have my Tonex tone models and just plug them into my guitar and play with my headphones. It's great. I love it. I love being able to like walk around my house while I'm parenting my children and just being able to like, you know, do some weedly-wees with my Tonex models. You need something to practice with, right? It's a good one. Next, the Mick Thompson Jackson signature Mick Thompson. This is in the this is somewhere in between these two categories. And if you saw that video, it has nothing to do with the potential sketchiness of this guitar, which, you know, I will get into that next year. I will follow that video up at some point. I need to like formulate my thoughts on how I'm going to explain this to you, because there's a lot that happened in between me getting that guitar and making the video, you know, and I want to be thorough with it. I'm going to put this in the highly recommend, but the caveat here is I hate the bridge system. And I know that like, that's not everyone. It's definitely just me. That almost leads me to put it down here, but all of the other aspects of the guitar make it a highly recommend for me. The thing I don't like about the bridge system is it's somewhat routed out for a tremolo, but not really. You know, it's not cut all the way back. Like, you can't put a Floyd Rose in this. You can't really put any other kind of bridge in this the way it is. And the bridge that comes on it, I would say that it's similar to a special, like a Floyd Rose special. So it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of need to eventually upgrade the saddles. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe over time this will last. It's really difficult to say. That's my opinion on it after playing, is like the bridge is the the thing I don't like about it. And I actually did see on another channel, this wasn't my experience, but apparently some people have a really hard time intonating those bridges because there's not enough travel distance for the saddle. I didn't have that, but I tuned it to C standard, I think. But if you bought this guitar and you wanted to play in, you know, drop B or drop A or whatever, like a Slipknot tuning, and you couldn't intonate it, that's kind of dumb, right? So yeah, that's why this guitar is somewhere in between these two categories. Like, I almost want to put this guitar just right in between. I'm gonna make up new rules here. We're gonna put this guitar right in between these two categories, okay? And it's specifically for the bridge system. Next, I put this on here. I made this video with all of these Gibson custom looking Les Pauls. You know, like the Eclipse was in that video. I had a Firefly, and then I actually had like a Gibson Les Paul Custom. But this one is the Epiphone. And I just decided to put this on this tier list because I ended up buying this guitar. And I think it's a really good guitar. And I would highly recommend it. It is a little bit expensive when you compare it to other Epiphone Les Paul Customs. But I mean, I don't know, dude. Just look at it. You know, the mother of pearl inlays, the diamond on the headstock, the open book headstock. You know, it's a beautiful guitar. And I haven't told you guys this yet, but you put some Keystone tuners on it and it really ups the vibe. You know what I mean? I think it does, at least. Comes with a hard case too. You know, if this was like maybe just a little bit less expensive, I would actually put it in God tier. I think it's that great of a guitar. It's just a little bit on the expensive side compared to their other similar offerings. The Engle Fireball 25. God tier, easy. Now, I know that this is a little bit on the expensive side for a lunchbox amp, but it's basically like you're buying a 50-watt amplifier. Like, this thing is loud. It sounds like an Engle amp. And for all of the same reasons that I put the Ravager in the good but not for me category, that's why I'm putting the Fireball 25 in God tier, because it sonically sounds like a full-size Engle amplifier. It has good features on it. You know, it has the noise gate. It doesn't have like the IR loading like the Ravager does. It does have a line out on it. You know, if you saw the video, you know these things already. But man, I just think for what it is, it's a very good piece of guitar equipment. I love it. The Jackson Soloist Tangent, the Sweetwater exclusive one. This is a God tier guitar, and I know it's an expensive guitar. I get that. I get that most people can't afford these things. I can't even afford one, you know? But I am very tempted to buy one still because it was such an immaculately crafted instrument. If you saw that video, I was not exaggerating. It is like you're playing a work of art, you know? And it really blurs the lines, for me, between instrument and art. I know a lot of you are probably like, that thing's overpriced, whatever. I can't put a price on someone's creativity and, you know, their craftsmanship. And I don't think it's fair to. And if the luthiers at Jackson feel like their craftsmanship is worth $6,000, then that's what they feel like it's worth, you know? And I think they sold a lot of these guitars already, so a lot of people probably feel the same way about it. So I'm putting that into God tier. You know, if you don't like that, that's okay. There's other guitars on this list. The Mer Prime M2. Where are we gonna put this? I think it just belongs in meh, right? I don't just, what is there to say about this? Okay, actually, I'm gonna put this up here. I'm gonna put it in good, but not for me. I'm gonna be nice on this one, because the thing that makes it a little bit more salvageable, in my opinion, is it has a lot of features for a pedal, and you could incorporate it on a board and essentially make it like a chameleon pedal. You load up your reverb on it or your delay or whatever you need. It'll fill a spot on your board, and they're not that expensive. It's USB rechargeable. That is kind of a downside of it, because you don't have like a 9-volt input like the rest of your pedal board would. Pros and cons. It is stereo. That's kind of neat. It is MIDI switchable. It does have 2-foot switches on it. So, you know, I think it does a lot of things. I think it covers a lot of bases. So we'll put that in the good but not for me category. I think there's a lot of use cases for it that I could imagine for someone. The Gear for Music Bass 6 30-inch baritone guitar. Is it a guitar? Is it a bass? Does it matter? I'm going to put this in the good but not for me category. That's exactly how I would describe it. It was a really excellent instrument, really great value, something I would never, ever play. The EVH Hypersonic. This is going to be polarizing, and since that video has come out, you know, and I've gotten a lot of comments and feedback on it. That video, by the way, was like one of my highest like to dislike ratio videos, which I thought was kind of interesting because, you know, I just tried to give like a fair analysis of the amplifier. I didn't want to glaze for it, and I didn't want to say like it sucked, because it doesn't suck. It's actually really good. But is it too expensive? Probably. I think it probably is priced too high. Now, again, that's just my opinion. Just like with the Jackson Soloist Tangent, like it's not up to me to price things. I think when it comes to the EVH Hypersonic, I get people's frustrations with it. I get people's frustrations with the fact that it's like a very expensive product, because it is. $1,700 is a lot, and you get a lot of different things for that much money. On the flip side, I get EVH's point on it, where it's like tubes are not reliable, and we have to start developing this other technology so that way we don't have to rely so heavily on tube manufacturing. That's true also, but like a lot of people pointed out, with the 6L6 badging, and like you're going to release another one that's EL34, like why not have both in just one amplifier? I don't know, man. It's definitely a deep, convoluted topic with a lot of nuance and caveats that we could sit here and talk about all day. But I'm going to put this in the good, but not for me. I really enjoyed playing this amplifier, but at the end of the day, it's a combo amp, you know, and it doesn't have a line out, so I can't plug it into a 4x12 cabinet, and that's what I prefer. I prefer playing things through a 4x12 cabinet. So, you know, again, like I said in the video, maybe they'll release a head in the future, and then that would be like a highly recommend or god tier, depending on all these different factors. But I did think that this was a great product. I just think it wasn't for me. And with its price, it's probably not for a lot of people. Okay, the last thing we have here is the Marshall. You know what? Wait a second. I didn't put the Halloween guitar in here. What the f? Before I can wrap this thing up, I got to talk about this. This is the Halloween guitar, and I get a lot of questions about this. A lot of people didn't realize that that video was like a found footage parody video. You know, I was essentially making a Halloween special. That's what I wanted to do with it. And I can't tell you at the beginning of the video, hey, by the way, this is not a normal guitar video. This is my Halloween special. Like, it ruins the whole video. If it's supposed to be found footage, you have to believe that it could be real. So I take all of those people being confused as a huge compliment that I did a good job at portraying some sort of realism. Because if you can't tell when the devil shows up as a shadow in the background that it's not a fake video, then I can't help you with that. So I just take that as a huge compliment. It was one of my favorite videos that I've ever made, and I plan on doing more of that in the future. So hopefully those of you watching this like that. And if you don't like it, I'm, you know, sorry, don't watch it. I don't know what to tell you. It's what I want to do. But the Gibson Flying V in that video, I did not buy it off the dark web. I bought it from Guitar Center. It's an early 2000s 67 reissue. I will make a video on this guitar in the new year, and one of the things that I want to do, I just want to upgrade it, like finish upgrading it, like I mentioned earlier. Just all the parts to make that thing in the same color scheme as the Scott Ian V didn't arrive in time, but this guitar is fucking awesome, dude. It is one of my favorite guitars, and I bought it used, and it needs a lot of work and it needs a lot of love, but I love it, man. I think it's so cool. I actually want to put it in the god tier category. It's just such a cool instrument, man. Playing it like is very inspiring. It feels good. Like, it's just I just can't wait to make that video because it's such a fun guitar to play, and I can't wait to finish getting it like top notch, you know. But yeah, we're gonna put that in god tier. My most recent video, Marshall JCM 800 reissue, it goes straight to god tier, man. Those amplifiers are classics for a reason, and even the reissues, like you saw in the video, do not differ that much from the originals. The differences that you could say that there are between them could be to component tolerances. I mean, we're talking about like a 40-year difference in between the two amplifiers that I used in my video, you know, or a near 40-year difference. So, you know, it could be component tolerances. It could just be like tubes. It could be having hand-selected match tubes versus just the bulk tubes from the factory. That could have made the difference. I don't really know, but I will find out because I own that JCM 800 now. So there are going to be a lot of miles put on that thing, and the reason that I wanted to own it is because it's such a classic god tier amp. Okay, here's one I almost completely forgot about. This is that illegal Washburn culprit that I bought. Do you guys remember that? Well, you truly do get what you pay for, I guess, or what you don't pay for in this case. Look how bent that is. This thing is going to require so much more work than I was anticipating, but we're still going to see if we can fix it. That guitar sucked. I would not recommend that. I'm not even going to fix this or rotate this image at all, because I don't think I need to. I'm just going to put that right here in the would not recommend category. That might be the only guitar that makes it into the would not recommend category in this video. That thing, you know, I would not recommend that to you. It was not a great use of my money. And I would say that if you do go ahead and buy a guitar off eBay that you know is fake, be prepared for it to not be great. You know what I mean? As long as you're good with that, like, then cool. You know, spend your money however you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, man. But I would just warn you that my experience, eBay with the, you know, fake guitar, not so great. All right, for the casual fans, you guys know how I end my videos. There's patrons over here. If you like the video, do the thing so YouTube knows that like it. I want to speak to the more diehard fans of the channel now and talk about 2026 and the things that I have going on and plan coming, because I don't want to make a whole separate video for that, you know? Like, it feels like a waste of your time and my time to make a whole separate video for it. So we're just going to go like this, and I'm just going to talk to you kind of plain, you know? First of all, I just want to say thank you. You guys have really helped me make this channel successful in the last year, you know, like more than I ever thought it could be. I mean, look, I got one of these plaques from YouTube. I never thought that would happen. With this channel and Obsidian Audio, things have like kind of grown, and it's become a lot of work, and it's really awesome. I love doing this. It's my favorite thing ever. As a matter of fact, it's 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I am just finishing editing up this video before it posts in a few hours, because I like doing this. Like, it's my favorite thing to do. I love editing videos. But with that being said, I do sort of like need help now that like things are growing, and like my wife, bless her heart, helps me as much as she can. But I do need help. And so what I plan on doing here in 2026 is starting a second channel and trying to maybe offload some of the videos that, you know, might not be a fit for my main channel. And what I want to focus on with the main channel are the videos that I really like making, you know, the longer, more in-depth videos. And they just take a long time to make, you know, researching. It takes a long time to make, but all of it's awesome. It's all my favorite stuff. I don't want to get this misconstrued, because the whole reason I'm doing it is because I really love doing this. I'm just trying to kind of reorganize it in a way that makes it more manageable for me. So, you know, getting help with the second channel is a big part of that. And yeah, if you see videos in the future of me and you're like, hey, I thought I was subscribed to this guy, like, what's going on? It's probably my second channel. So please subscribe to that one too. It would be really, really helpful. And, you know, with that being said, I am going to be organizing a lot of this stuff in the beginning of the new year. So if you see or don't see me, rather, for a little bit, that's why. You know, I'm just working really hard behind the scenes so that way I can keep this going for as long as humanly possible, you know, without crashing and burning. Okay? You guys are the best, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.